Charlotte Soccer Show. John Hayes, Danny Brams, we're back for yet another episode. And Danny, we're here to discuss Charlotte FC's hot start to the season. It's a 4-1 win at the Keep on Saturday night. A total dismantling of the San Jose Earthquakes. Poor Bruce Arena has to come to town and get absolutely embarrassed on the pitch by Dean Smith. My big question, we'll get to this at some point in the show, Danny, is did Bruce ever join Dean for that cocktail or that beer pint, whatever they were going to do in that post-game meeting? Do you know if he ever got over there?
I don't know, but I will find out. That is my mission this week.
It's good morning. I see you got Summit coffee there, Danny. A nice black coffee this morning. Is that? Are you got any milk or sugar in there?
Drinking my Summit. I take oat milk with no sugar. Trying to be healthier as an old man, but I got my. I will tell you this. I got my black. Because I've got my hot because it's a little chilly out. Rained yesterday. And I got my iced. I'm ready to go. Always get two at Summit Coffee. You might as well. It's a great place.
I don't know what to say about that. That is a one-of-one type of move, hot and cold at the same time. Why not?
I'm a coffee guy. What can I say? Dino always makes fun of me for drinking iced coffee. If he sees it at the pressers, he's like, "Oh, you got to drink iced coffee. What the hell is that?" So, and by always, I mean one time. I think he said something.
So we're going to talk about this statement win, or was it just another day at the office? I don't know. Charlotte FC is playing really well right now. It's almost like this win felt kind of expected on Saturday night, and that's a really, really good thing. It was a gorgeous day for a match, Danny. We finally got a strong first half. Get your butts in the seats early. We got a strong first half. We're going to hear from Ashley Westwood. We're going to hear from Brant Bronico. Some comments from Walker Zimmerman of Nashville Soccer Club. We're playing Nashville soon. Charlotte is making noise across the league. Let's just leave it there. We're going to get into that. And of course, we're going to debate Andrew Privett's red card and talk about Patrick Agyemang getting a goal for the United States men's national team. Probably the only bright spot of the international break for Team USA. But let's just start with how beautiful Saturday was. I mean, the weekend in general here in Charlotte, Danny, it's March. And this is why you live in Charlotte. It's absolutely gorgeous. Remember when Ashley Westwood told Zaha, just give it a few weeks, and it's going to be a really nice place to play soccer, when it was a little chilly when Zaha first got here. Saturday was the epitome of what Westwood was talking about, wasn't it, Danny?
Yeah, it was a truly gorgeous day for a match. It was a nice time hanging out. We were a lot of things going on. You had some daytime parties. I had some daytime events down that took me down to Rock Hill, actually, which was crazy. But eventually it was match evening, and at Hop Fly was hopping. The vibes were vibing. The fly was even flying. And friend of ours, friend of the show, Hannah Milby, who was there, was like, she and I were hanging out, talking, catching up. We hadn't seen each other in a little bit. And every few minutes, we just kept going. Like, I would tell her like a horror story of my life. She'd tell me a horror story of her life. And then we'd look around and be like, but it's so beautiful out, It was just like, it was a great vibe. It was really cool. Like how that was the defining characteristic of the day from the time that we got into match mode. And it was absolutely incredible the way that played out and turned into the best first half of the season for Charlotte FC. And just the goals started flowing early and often. It only took 10 minutes for Pep to put one in the back of the net. We're going to be looking at it here momentarily, but just overall positive energy was like building like a ball that was rolling everywhere we wanted it to go across the pitch, across our lives. And great day, wonderful day.
I think I can put it as simply as this: Charlotte FC was never going to lose this match on Saturday.
Right, exactly.
And it just, you could tell beforehand, you could tell as they were walking out of the tunnel, you could feel it in that first half, and then all of a sudden the goals started to flow, just like the beer and wine and cocktails were flowing all around town.
They always do
on Saturday afternoon. Yeah. It turned into a party, absolutely, for sure. And I do want to celebrate Pep Bial on the show. I do. I really do. And we're going to get to that, Danny. But when we talk about this Pep Bial goal, something that's really important to me is we had a debut. We had a debut in this match. We had a full debut in this match. We had a full 90 debut in this match, Danny. and it's Soliman Doumbia. And when we look at the Pep Biao goal, right, let's forget about the finish. Let's talk about the buildup, Danny, because this to me is the most important part of the match. And look at this run by Doumbia here. He's got the ball on his feet. It's a perfectly weighted pass out wide, and that's why this goal happens, right? Yes, it's a classy finish from Pep Biao, but it's our new player. It's Soliman Doumbia who makes a beautiful run with the ball at his feet out of the back there. You can see him there driving forward. This type of play is exactly what Charlotte FC needed from the left back position. This is nothing against Tim Ream. He's done a fantastic job in that position, Danny, but he hasn't done this.
Right. Beating three guys out of midfield, outsprinting them all with the ball at his feet, and then being there in the box to run interference. That's, like in a worse world, that gets called as like a goal interference and waved off in the craziness of MLS. Thankfully, that there's never really a whiff of that. But Doumbia is in there in that mix, and it's really nice to see what Suli Doumbia brought to the table. They call him, Dean revealed that his nickname is Doo-Doo. He said, yeah, Doo-Doo. We're not sure when he was talking on Thursday, he's like, we're not sure if Doo-Doo is ready. He turned out to be quite ready, obviously. But he's like, yeah, I guess I shouldn't tell, he's like, yeah, I'm not calling him shit. It's just, that's his nickname. That's what the guys call him is Doo-Doo. So, Doumbia. So you can't be too upset about that. And it's a great finish by Pep Biao. We will talk about that. But yeah, Doumbia, just like, if I let me freeze it real quick, and sorry for people who are just listening on audio only, but when you see the Doumbia with the ball at near midfield, you can just picture it in your mind if you're listening on audio. Doumbia's at the ball at near midfield on a full paced run, and he's in the middle of three guys. He's encircled by three defenders. In like, how many times do you see this in MLS and it just fizzles out because the guy slows down, the defenders catch up, and it's like this leads to nothing. Instead, Doumbia kicks the ball out ahead of himself, and all of a sudden he's beaten all three of those defenders. He's in wide open space setting up the play, which eventually led to a deflected cross that Pep Biao finished. Soliman Doumbia, let me play this real quick, and then I'll hear your takes on him just one more time, sing his praises. Here's Dino singing Doumbia's praises, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I think what he done, he put in an excellent performance, and we can be thankful to him. I mean, he got back off a plane last night at midnight. He's fasting for Ramadan, and he's gone out and ended up playing 90 minutes. We've not a lot of training over the last week or two, so I thought his performance was exceptional considering everything leading into the game. I thought it was always going to be a little bit of a gamble for me to put him in, but having a natural left back, I thought was the best option, even if he didn't last the game. But he ended up lasting the game, which was a great credit to him. We saw that on Tuesday. He played 45 minutes in a game in a friendly, and he scored in that game where he picked up the ball in his own half and released it and carried on his run. And I thought he did really well on the ball. He looks really good and accomplished on the ball, and he understands the game.
Johnny, they saw it on Tuesday, and then we saw it on Saturday.
I mean, you have Danny. It's seriously though. I mean, when you hear Dean Smith talk about Doumbia there, Doo-Doo, I mean, how excited do you get? I mean, I felt like I was excited to talk about this full debut, this 90-minute debut. I mean, then he adds the notes that he just got off the plane. He's fasting as well. He wasn't really sure. He knew it was a risk to put him in. Mm-hmm. And Doo-Doo rewarded him less than 10 minutes into the match with just an unbelievably professional run. And I feel so happy for Dean Smith, because you could just tell that it was a decision that he made. It was a managerial decision that paid off, and that's why he gets paid the big bucks, and that's why he got the extension, Danny.
Yeah, he loves to give a player his debut, and he's done it again. Dean Smith pulling strings.
Yeah. So that was just the first goal. Let's keep rolling, baby, because there's more here, Danny. It's time to celebrate, this first half, because after you get the first goal, you think to yourself, okay, Charlotte FC finally gives themselves a chance to get up early in a match. It's 1-0. Pep Biao sends Charlotte FC ahead, and then all of a sudden, here comes Idan Toklomati, Danny.
Idan, another first full debut for Idan, right? First MLS start. And I saw this play develop in front of me. I was in the supporter section and just watching, knowing Kerwin was wide open. I was like, when's he going to give it to him? When's he going to give it to him? And he gave it to him at the perfect time. And then Kerwin took too long. Kerwin didn't do that Zaha thing that we wanted to see, which is that first touch, play it quick. Kerwin took an extra touch, fired a good shot, but that gave the defender time to get back on the line. But Toklomati keeps it alive at that point. And, we see he perfectly weighted pass, maybe up perfectly, but a very good pass. But right here, when Toklomati gets the rebound, and how many MLS players do you see take that rebound and just donk it out to the corner? It's like, okay, I got the ball back. I'm going to run out to the corner now because I'm scared. Instead, he turns the other way, turns his body inside, and then curls a pass around a diving defender's head. And Westwood, Westwood takes an extra touch too, but he had the time for that touch. Fires it home, professional finish by the captain. And all of a sudden, Charlotte FC's rolling at that point. And Toklomati is just so impressive on the entire play. And Westwood, as Dean said, got a nosebleed going up there that far into the box, but did end up scoring. So all credit to everyone on this play. Even Kerwin. It's not his fault necessarily, but he just gave the defender time.
No, yeah, it's nice to get a shot off there. You said it. He probably should have got the shot off sooner. But, Idon Toklomati is a product of this front office and Zoran Krneta specifically going out there to get somebody to help this club. And Zoran Krneta is somebody it's got a lot of criticism, that's made some poor decisions, that's also made some strong decisions. And let's put this one in the strong decision category. Let's put this one in the category of when you're a GM in MLS, you've got to go out and find some diamonds in the rough. And, I made a joke on previous episodes about Zoran's strategy of signing a DP from a country and then going to get a friend as well. It happened with our Polish DP, Karol Swiderski and Kamil Józwiak. It happened again here with Liel Abada and Idon Toklomati. We'll ask Zoran at some point this season if he thought about that when bringing Idon Toklomati into town. But either way, it's a really, really nice signing for Charlotte FC. And it gives this team some confidence because, for the first time in club history, a striker has to go play for its national team. And I'm not talking about Karol Swiderski. I think Karol is somebody that wanted to play striker, but he wasn't necessarily playing the full-out number 9 for this squad. Patrick Agyemang is that. He's the first choice number 9. He doesn't play any other position. When you lose a player like that, Danny, and you send him off to play with his national team, sometimes you lose a little bit of confidence. I think Idon Toklomati, with his start here, with his performance, gives Charlotte FC that confidence that when Patrick Agyemang is not available with the United States, and because he's with the United States national team, Toklomati is a player to slot right in there in that striker position, and this team might not skip a beat. That's pretty exciting, Danny.
Yeah, and I'll toot my own horn just because I did call Toklomati out in our preseason preview, before any ball was kicked this season, before a ball was kicked in anger. I said, eyes all over Idon Toklomati, just because the reasoning, not that I'm some soccer genius, but I'm not even I don't Crown Legacy deep dive like some folks do, and credit to all who do, but I saw the goals he scored for Crown Legacy, and I saw the way he scored and just toyed around with Next Pro when he got over here last year. And I was like, all right, this guy actually has some fucking talent. He could probably be pretty good. So,
he passed the eye. Danny, you've got the eye test. He passed your eye test, is what he did, and I think that's important
for sure. Yeah, he passed my eye test. He passed Zoran's eye test, and Zoran does have hits and misses. You sign a Petkovic, you sign a Toklomati. You hope you get at least one performance like this. On some early returns. But loved Idon, loved everything about that goal, loved the captain. And it didn't stop Johnny. It went right on because it was moments later that from the captain to the mayor, if you will, made it happen.
It's good to put this goal in perspective, Danny. And the reason why is because at 2-0, it's a really nice start to the game. But at 2-0, it could go either way. A goal here, and you'll see it by Bram Bronico, a nice chip over the keeper. The keeper's way off of his line. What a horrible move by the San Jose keeper. Why he's rated so poorly in this match is because he's about, let's call it, 24, 25 yards off his line, trying to make a tackle outside the box on Bram Bronico. And Bronny says, nope, I'm going to chip right around you here and go score a goal, which is really impressive from Bram Bronico. But my point is the third goal here, Danny, is crucial. As soon as that ball trickles over the line, Charlotte FC won the match. There's no coming back from 3-0 down at the keep against Dean Smith and this defense. And we'll even give you a red card, and we'll get it. We'll get to that. We'll even go a man down, and you're not going to have a chance to beat this team after you go 3 down. And that's the beauty of Charlotte FC right now, and that's why this is Charlotte FC's best first half of the season, arguably one of the best first halves in club history in MLS League play, and the ability to just kind of look around after getting this third goal and say, this feels like it's going to be a win is a really, really good thing. And then Danny, of course, we get into the second half. Kerwin Vargas, he makes it 4-0. Kerwin Vargas does in that to start the second half. And at that point, the game truly was over. Here it is. It's in the 52nd minute. Kerwin Vargas gets out there on the right-hand wing. He drives into the box, a nice right-footed strike into that left corner. He gives you that flip. And Charlotte FC is well on its way to this point to a win and 3 points. Charlotte FC now is, I believe, is it third or fourth in MLS right now with 10 points, tied in fourth, I believe. It's Vancouver, or it's Philadelphia at the top of the league. It's Vancouver. It's Miami, and then Charlotte, I believe, or Charlotte is tied with Miami for that third spot. I can bring it up.
Johnny, let me help you out here, because I have been in the graphics room as usual. I made a little table for us to
beautiful.
look at
at
as
this.
we talk. And
thank you, Danny.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
Third.
thing. You know, what can I say?
Tied for third. How does that make you feel?
Third is pretty nice. This is full MLS. This is not just the East, y'all.
That's correct. You can see the Vancouver Whitecaps right there with 12 points, tied with Philadelphia at the top of the league. Charlotte FC, 10 points, tied with Miami, tied with Nashville, the game coming up soon. Chicago, surprising to see Chicago. Is that Greg Berhalter's Chicago Fire, Danny Rams?
Yeah, Berhalter, the perfect hire. When one door closes, another door opens. I think that's a good mantra for life in general, and certainly Greg Berhalter is living proof of that right now at the early season near the top of the table with Chicago.
So 4 teams tied on 10 points in third place, 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss for Charlotte FC, a +6 goal differential, now into 10 goals, double-digit goals scored for this squad, 10 goals, only 4 against. A really, really nice start to the season for Charlotte FC. Now I think it's time to get into go ahead, Danny.
Well, just let me say that I did include Colorado on this list real quick. We look all the way down to 15th spot where Colorado, Charlotte FC's next opponent, is sitting. You can see they're coming off of a loss, and Charlotte FC has to go there. So interesting look ahead for that. I think that the crazy thing is, though, as you look at Charlotte sitting up there at third place, second in the East, is probably what there's 2 reactions, post-games reactions, one from Westwood and one from Brawny. Which one do you want to hear first?
I definitely want to hear from Westwood first. He's the captain. We got to defer to the captain, Danny. That's how it works.
I defer to you. Here's what he had to say, which may actually, if you look at a 4-goal performance and a penalty kick, the only goal against, might blow your mind.
This is the scary thing with this team. We weren't even very good tonight, and we've won 4-1. So we've got a lot of improvement to do. We're not getting carried away by the scoreline. It looks great, but I'm sure if we sit down in midweek and we watch it, there's so much more we can improve on, and this is where we are right now. We're in a real good place, and every one of us can improve.
Didn't even play that well. That's the scary thing for this squad. The captain just kind of laying down some heat, dropping a truth bomb. And the reason why is, and I was trying to figure this out before the show, Danny, why would Ashley Westwood think that Charlotte FC didn't play that well in this match? I think first and foremost, the captain never likes to see a red card and never likes to go a man down, never likes to give up a PK, last man foul. I think the captain will always identify that as a poor moment. But I think realistically, he's talking about the 3 big chances that the Earthquakes had, the expected goals. The expected goals, it was a 2.7 for San Jose in this match. And the reason why is because, Danny, there was a lot of shots. Total shots, 26 total shots for San Jose in this match.
How many on target?
That's a good question. Out of 26 shots, there was only 5 goalkeeper saves.
Yeah.
So So 5 on target, 6 including the PK, a lot of shots. And I wanted to call that out specifically. That's 2 matches in a row where Charlotte FC was very happy to allow its opposition to rip shots outside the box. You can kind of see that strategy shaping up for this team. Go ahead and take as many rips as you want from outside the 18. You can have it. So once again, Danny Brams, you're on the graphic. These graphics for Charlotte Soccer Show are getting out of control. I don't know how anybody's ever going to live up to this. Seriously, though. Take me through the ratings here. What jumps out to you?
It jumps out that what does Pep got to do to earn a 10? Come on, SofaScore, give him some love. Zaha, I mean, at one point before Charlotte, when it was still 1-0, I tweeted out, on a barrage of social media posts that, Charlotte FC scores a lot of goals. We're going to post a lot of stuff. And one of the posts we made was that, the goal was nice, but the Zaha dribbling show is what it's all about, because between 1-0 and 2-0, Zaha was putting on a show, dribbling through guys and doing his Zaha things. It's amazing that he did not get involved in the scoring with 4 goals, and he's never truly involved. But he made things happen out there. So a 6.9 with like no goal contributions is pretty damn nice. The back line, Privet with the red card is always going to be low. I thought Malanda, that certainly shows that was one of the worst games I'd seen Malanda play, and thankfully didn't really come back to bite. San Jose was pretty toothless. I'm not sure. Just not the best day at the office for Adilson Malanda in my mind. Byrne did what he always does, which was show great recovery speed. And maybe our boy Doumbia can't get a 7. I mean, what the hell, SofaScore? So give Pep a 10, get Doumbia up above a 7 somewhere. And I like that Dean he really had to make 2 subs. We had sort of a sub, 3 internationals out, 3 internationals in, backup, quote unquote lineup, but didn't have to go too deep into the bench. Just, maybe could have and let Scardina and the boys get out there a little bit, but fuck it. It was a pretty good game. Can't complain at all about any of this.
Christian Kalina, a 7.4 in the net. I think there's one player that maybe leaves the game a little unhappy. Well, 2 if you count Andrew Privet and the red card. Mm-hmm. But forget about the red card. There's really one player that walks off the pitch and is not necessarily thrilled, and I think that's Christian Kalina. I think he loves clean sheets. I'm not going to say what I was thinking, but he really does love clean sheets. And what at this point, and I don't want to make this show about individual awards, but we're going to keep track throughout the season. When you win MLS Goalkeeper of the Year, you got to come back and you got to back it up. You're coming back in this season, and Christian Kalina is doing exactly that, Danny. And I think he's laying the foundation for another great season, a potential MLS Goalkeeper of the Year season. Things are escalating pretty quickly, and let's leave it to Brant Bronico to put some gas on that fire.
Hell yeah, we can challenge for a league title. Hell yeah, we can challenge for a league title. Hell yeah, we can challenge. Hell yeah, we can challenge for a league title. Hell yeah, we can challenge for a league title.
So we heard from the captain, who's like, we really didn't even play that well. And here comes Brant.
Hell yeah, we can
challenge for a league title.
Hell yeah, we can challenge for a league title.
That's why you got to hear the captain first, and then you can really have some fun with Brant at the mic afterwards. A really nice moment for Brant Bronico. He scores his first goal post having his beautiful child with his wife Rebecca, and I saw him also say after the match that this celebration, the shirt off and rocking the baby, that celebration was planned, and it was something he told Rebecca that he was going to do no matter what to celebrate the birth of his first child. So quite the Saturday night for the Bronny bro.
Yeah, and hell yeah for everybody. We are playing. We can challenge for a league title, and I just think it's awesome that he has just grown. Brant Bronico is one of our own. He played for Chicago Fire, but I don't care. He's a Charlotte homegrown, I think, in all our minds because of his history here. And to see, I in a troll post I said, Enzo Capetti misses the goal that Brant Bronico scored, because it's just funny how like Bronico has been. There's people in MLS will be like, oh, they got a journeyman, Brant Bronico. He's not really a journeyman, and he's a guy that has just continued to get better all the time. He's not the same Brant Bronico that signed with Charlotte FC in 2021-22 before the club even got started. He's a totally new iteration of a player and a man, and it's incredible that like he hasn't stopped growing. Like some people think you like get to the league and you are what you are. Veronica's proof that you can continue to get better in every facet of your life in all ways as you go along. And it's pretty cool. He is one of our own. I put together like videos. If you like there's music videos. Hopefully, if you really love the show, you've probably seen them already. But if you're just catching it, like check out Instagram Reels, check out the YouTube Shorts, because like I love to put little music videos of the guys talking about their goals and stuff like that. We did that. We had plenty of chance to do that this weekend. So check those videos out. I also, put together a little video of Dino talking about something that I think is classic. We don't have to spend too much time on this because it really doesn't matter, John. But like, I think that it's funny to hear Dino talk about the red card, because he's just like Dean always, even in a 4-goal performance, Dean's always going to have like something to complain about with these referees. It's so funny.
I mean, I've watched it back. I saw it on the screen. I don't think it's a penalty. I don't think it's a red card. The referee's position is 50 yards behind the ball and in line with the actual incidents. So he must have some good eyes to decide that's a penalty and a red card, because there was no interference from the assistant referee on the side of it. He didn't give it, that's for sure. And then obviously VAR didn't think it was a red card or a penalty as well, because that's why they sent the referee over to the monitor. I thought there was a handball in the build-up. I thought he recovered really well. He got back behind the ball, and the lad, if you look at the incident again, he looks like he's falling backwards anyway. Looks like he's losing his feet. Put it this way, that would not be given as a free kick outside the penalty box.
I wonder if Dino's going to hear from the MLS League office after that post-match rant. He just went for it. It didn't even look like he hesitated. He just absolutely went for it, Danny. Can you play the first 10 seconds of that clip again?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'll play it again, and then I'll dump out of it.
I mean, I've watched it back. I saw it on the screen. I don't think it's a penalty. I don't think it's a red card. The referee's... I mean, I've watched it back. I saw it on the screen. I don't think it's a penalty. I don't think it's a red card. The referee's position is 50 yards behind the ball and in line with the actual incidents. So he must have some good eyes to decide that's a penalty and a red card, because there was no...
He must have some good eyes.
I mean, I think that's the end of the segment. I can't add anything to what Dean said there. And that's the beauty of covering the Dean Smith team. I think sometimes what he's going to do, he's going to analyze it right on the nose. I just don't think Dean gives bullshit at press conferences, especially after the match. I think that he calls it exactly like he sees it. I looked it up on the screen there. It wasn't even close to a red card. And calling the fact out that he was 50 yards away is absolutely funny. And we can laugh about it. We can laugh about it, Danny. But a red card means that Andrew Privet is unavailable moving forward. So there is an impact to that red card for sure.
They talked about potential appeals. Westwood conceded it was a red card when he was asked about it. My favorite part of the Dean bit is, I thought there was a handball in the buildup.
Oh, what a guy, what a gaffer. I mean, it's been truly fun to have Dean Smith come here and to Charlotte and show this city what a real football manager looks like. And I didn't say that trying to give shade against the other guys. It just is what it is. Yeah. We've got some other clips as well. I want to make sure I get through all this. Pep Bial, he showed up in the post-game press conference with Sir Minty. Is that right, Danny?
Mm-hmm. What's with Minty?
The best.
He's going home with you?
Yes.
Minty's the best.
I mean, holy smokes. The vibes, those post-match vibes are something else. I mean, Pep Bial's got the Sir Minty stuffy at his post-game press conference, calling him the best. It just seems like there's a sense of happiness kind of perpetrating throughout this dressing room, doesn't it, Danny?
It does, and the club is on fire. Let's keep it going versus Colorado. And it's amazing that they were able to keep things going. We've talked about all the reasons why, but they were missing a pretty key component. His name has been dropped once in this show already, and Patrick Agyemang, I think, features big in our last segment here. We were going to do corrections, but I think we saved corrections for later. We got more mistakes to make. I think we just get to Pat here. He scored the only goal for the U.S. in 2 matches of an international window, and probably one of the most disappointing windows that most USMNT fans have seen in recent years. A loss to Panama always haunts, and getting shut out against Panama even worse. Just a really rough scene for all fans of the red, white, and blue. But Pat Agyemang, if you're a Charlotte FC fan, the fan base here absolutely exploded seeing him get in the game that really mattered and then score in the consolation prize game. Either way, he's probably the only player that had a good window. Would have been nice for him to finish that one of those two big chances against Panama when it really mattered, I think, though.
Right. Pat scores a goal, and he's I think Pat is he's on a very short list of United States men's national team players that have scored 3 or 4 goals in his first 3 or 4 starts for this club. I think Pat's now started 3 games for the United States men's national team, if that's right. That could be a correction coming to that in the next couple weeks on an episode here soon. But calling Pat and Mauricio Pochettino, the United States men's national team coach, leaning on Patrick Agyemang, I think is a window into what's happening with this team right now. I mean, this team feels like it's really going through a transition a little bit more than a year away from the biggest World Cup in maybe U.S. men's national team history. I mean, This was supposed to be the moment for United States soccer, and can't even beat Panama, can't even beat Canada. So we're going to keep an eye on this story, but shout out to Patrick Agyemang for getting it done on the national team level. I really, really hope that he can stick around and play for this club in the World Cup and find some success. What we've seen from Pat at the United States men's national team is exactly what we said would happen. I mean, anywhere this guy goes, anytime this guy plays, he's a threat to score a goal.
Yeah, absolute scenes when he did score. I think Josh Sargent played well against Panama to start that match, that semifinal. And, Pat, when he came in, made it as Thierry Henry, one of my favorite, probably still my favorite soccer player ever, Henry in Bergkamp, when TH said, Patrick Agyemang made an impact, but he didn't make the difference. That is if Patrick scores against Panama and the U.S. goes up 1-0 and then doesn't concede late and wins that and is playing in the final later, like that is a totally different national soccer story being told. And so I think that, made an impact, didn't make the difference is something for him to keep going. I will sit here and sing Pat's praises, and he really did have a nice finish versus Canada. He's capable of great finishes, obviously, and we need to see a lot more here in Charlotte when he comes back. But I will qualify and say he's got something to build on. I think even he would know that. He's a smart man. He's a friend of the show. He's smart enough to come and visit with us a few times and talk to us on the show. So we love Pat, but he still has ways to get better. Finish more consistently. I think the chance against Panama was one that you got to bury, and the keeper made a nice play on it, but it should have been scored. I will say that he's coming back to Charlotte in fine form, looking very hot, needs to go to Colorado and score. We got the Nashville match coming up. And if he keeps doing what he's doing, John,
pay him. Pay that man his money.
We mentioned Zoran earlier in the show, and Zoran definitely has some work to do. Our friend Zoran Cornetta and our friend Bobby Belair as well, the assistant general manager over there. Which, by the way, I wanted to call this out. I wanted to give a shout out to, I think it's the CLT podcast that had Bobby Belair as a guest.
CLT FC podcast, yeah.
The CLT FC podcast, friend of the show. With that, does the CLT FC podcast. I know Danny. Give him a shout out. He's a good guy.
Oh, Nick's the man. He's appeared on the show. Remember, he was our correspondent from New York, in a live pregame in a lifetime ago. So always some of the best long form interviews on the entire show.
Yeah, I think he does a really nice job of that interview with Bobby Belair. Is a way to just kind of talk to somebody at the club. We've had Bobby on the show before as well.
Same episode that had Patrick Agyemang.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a fun episode. You can find it on our YouTube page. You said we weren't going to do corrections. I'm going to tell you we are going to do corrections.
Okay,
and the reason
I didn't know we had time. I wasn't trying to take away. I always defer to you, as I said at the beginning of the show, for sure.
And the reason why is because
get it wrong again. Yeah, imagine that.
The reason why I'm going to do corrections because I feel good, and this is a new segment on the show because I can go on the record and we can give corrections, and then it's done. I don't want to come. I don't want to have to correct myself next week from things that I said 3 weeks ago. So here we go. Here's 2 corrections. Number 1 is that you can't watch the game on TV 64. Okay, we said last week that you could watch the game live on TV 64, and that is absolutely incorrect. You can watch Charlotte FC re-aired on TV 64. I don't know when the re-air happens. I'm not sure I care when the re-air happens, but just know you can watch Charlotte FC on replay on TV 64. You cannot watch it live on TV 64. I got that one wrong, Danny. Are you going to take any blame for that one being wrong?
I take all the blame for that because I sent you the headline and I didn't even read the story. I just read the headline. You know, my media literacy was pew, which is pretty embarrassing. But yeah, I saw a headline that said TV 64 Charlotte FC. I was like, Jesus, man, Apple's not going to be happy about this. And then didn't even actually read the story. So forgive me on that one for sure. I will say that I did talk to Club Comms about this, and I think I got the impression that they are late at night after the late local news. So you can't be looking at a sports bar and look up and see a Charlotte FC.
Stick around for Charlotte FC after your late local news, except for on the West Coast. And one more, Danny, for you. One more for you. Elton John, Sir Elton John. He's the man, but he did not have an ownership stake in Crystal Palace. He was, in fact, an owner of Watford FC. And I want to thank Penny Smalls. I want to thank Tiger Smalls' mom for reaching out to us to let us know that we were indeed wrong about Sir Elton John. He did play a show once in Crystal Palace. A lot of people wrote and talked about that, but he was a mainstay at Watford FC. Maybe Watford can get its butt back up to the Premier League and make Sir Elton happy here at the end of 2025 and at 2026. That's the show, Danny. Those are our corrections, and we're going to have more corrections for sure coming up in the future because we are wrong on this show quite a bit, but we're also right sometimes as well, Danny. What you got going on this week? What can we expect from you? And where's Charlotte FC headed this weekend? You said Colorado. What's the schedule look like this week?
Colorado coming up. I'll try to get some media availabilities if I can. Hopefully we have another Apple interview coming up later this week, so keep watching the channel. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind if I put down in words how wonderful it is to have Penny Smalls listening to the show. We are the official podcast of Players' Parents, as Mindy Bender will tell you. And thank you, John, for another great episode. Always fun. Thanks to everybody who listened. This was a quick one. We've done this episode in about the time it took Charlotte FC to score the first 3 goals of the match. We do not have a 4th one in store because we are wrapping up, but I cannot wait to go to Colorado, get another win, stay hot, and it's goodbye Yellow Brick Road. At that point, we're going all the way.
It's Charlotte Soccer Show. He's Danny Brams. I'm John Hayes. You can follow us on social wherever you find Charlotte FC content. X. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Blue Sky. You can subscribe here on YouTube. Make sure you follow the show. Get in the comments. Leave a rating. Leave a review. Tell us what you like about the show. And more importantly, tell us what you hate about the show. As always, Danny Brams, it's for the crown, baby.
Hell yeah, we can challenge for a league title.